The easiest way to stop paying expensive credit card processing fees is to charge it back to your clients. There are a lot of companies out there now, credit card processing companies offering no fee transactions, and that's so much BS. So what they do is they charge it on the back end to the client, which is perfectly fine, but they're still charging their fee, and as a matter of fact, they're charging higher fee because they just give it right back to the client. So that's not saving your client money, that's not saving you money. So what we've done at Otter PR is we've built out our own basically UI for charging fees. Now we use WooCommerce, a free plugin that adds fees in, but there's a lot more to that. So I want to walk you through what we're doing and what you can do at your company to create this best practice. So first off, before just charging a fee, obviously you have to be transparent about that fee. You have to let people know. The only caveat to that is if you offer ways that they can pay without charging a fee. Basically what we used here is Plaid. So Plaid, if you've never used it or heard of it, you probably have. It's basically how you connect directly to your bank account and authorize a transaction. So it's an ACH transaction, but the client has to log into their bank account and basically authorize that transaction. So it's very secure for you and for them. And you never, as the seller of the person, you never get to see their bank account information. You never get access to their bank account. It's basically all done through Plaid's UI and encrypted and protected. All it does is authorize you to charge whatever your system says to charge. So you can look here and basically they'll click on link their account. The thing with Plaid right now is you do have to do a custom build out. We used our developer in-house, but you can also find someone on Fiverr or Upwork who can build this out pretty easily. Do make sure to test this thoroughly for several reasons, but one, our developer accidentally switched refunds and charges. So every time someone checked out for the first 3 days, instead of charging us or charging that customer, we actually sent them money in the sense that we refunded them. Big issue, we pay less, I think it's $1 per transaction, which is significantly cheaper than credit cards, even ACH, the way we have it set up. Now, the next tool we have in here is ACH. We do ACH through QuickBooks, and I'll show you all these different tools later. The reason why we like that is their authorization process is super simple. It requires a signed, basically script and invoice. And so we do all of that through this UI, which is built out and they get a copy on the back end. But all they have to do is put in their account number and routing number and pick what type of account it is, and then they're able to charge the account. Obviously, there's an authorization process in the back end. And again, we don't get to see the account number or the routing number. It's all encrypted. I believe you can see the last 4, which is standard across the board. Now, this used to be a max of $10 or 1%, and unfortunately they just moved it to 1%. So our fees have been going up a little bit higher on this one, but even the 1% is a lot cheaper than the 3%. Theoretically, you shouldn't really be spending that much on ACH. We're currently looking at a different software to help with this, and I'll show you that at the end that has a little bit lower fees. The easiest thing is you see here, our checkout cost is $4,000. We're a high ticket service, so credit card fees are expensive. Now, if we click on our credit card, you'll see that it automatically adds $120 fee, which is just the 3% fee, which we actually get charged depending on what credit card is, up to 3.5. If it's an Amex, things like that, it's higher. So we pay interchange plus a tiny bit. We've had multiple people look at this and quote us out, and I'll tell you exactly what payment software we're using. It sounds like we have a very good deal. We pay a monthly subscription. So if you're small volume, that monthly subscription might not be worth it. If you're larger volume, then getting as close to interchange is probably the best bet for you. Same thing with PayPal. We still offer PayPal with high ticket. Most of our clients no longer use PayPal, but it's a good offer, especially for international. More international companies have PayPal. And again, we're charging that fee because PayPal charges us that fee. So we're just trying to recoup those fees, which for us is over 6 figures a year. And those 6 figures go into salary, our team, bonuses, wherever we need to utilize them. But it's much better than paying it to the credit card company. So now let's go into the individual processors. Let's start off with Plaid. Plaid's the most complicated to set up. This one I really love. We don't get as many checkouts as we would like in Plaid. It's about 20% use Plaid, which is great, but it's not everything we want. We do have some pre-negotiated rates with Plaid, so we pay about $1 per transaction. So I'm sure you can get that, and we negotiated getting funded basically next day. Some of them get same day. I think now it's with their new banking partner, it is longer. So I'm not sure exactly what they have available at this moment, but basically we were able to lock that in due to the time that we set everything up. The next one is Payment Depot. This is what we use. I guess they changed their name, but it's the same thing. This one is the one that is basically a flat fee plus interchange, so $99 a month plus interchange. If you're not familiar with interchange, basically what that is difference, what the credit card actually charges. So when you use Amex actually charges a fee, that's interchange. When you use Visa actually charges a fee, that's interchange. So basically we're getting as close to interchange as possible with this. Some other platforms offer fixed. If you get a lot of business cards, that might actually be a better opportunity for you if it's fixed at 2.9. What they're doing is they're taking averages of all the fees and they're just saying that's what you're you're gonna pay. That is actually a little bit less than what we're paying right now, which is kind of wild because of the amount of business credit cards we use, which have higher fees. The next piece of this is what we're currently using for ACH. Now, like I mentioned, it used to be 1% or max of $10. It looks like they recently got rid of the max of $10. So we're gonna be looking for a different processor, but QuickBooks has been great to us. No issues with that. We did recently have an issue one time with fraud. Someone used someone else's bank account, and QuickBooks was great. We reached out to them, we talked through it, solved it. The money did end up going back to that individual, and we had enough cash to cover it, of course, but we had contracts and everything signed. We did everything right. So there was no issues and nothing on our end that needed to be changed. So QuickBooks has been great to us. Been really happy with that solution. If you're already using QuickBooks, it ties in really well, and you can also open a bank account with QuickBooks, which allows faster processing. And if you put them into basically a ledger or like a savings account in there, you get 5% APY currently, which you can see right here, which we do use and been very happy with that. The last one here is one that we're looking at and may switch over to for part of our ACH transactions, which is called Easy Pay Direct. Now, we've gotten recommended this tool by some other people. One of the advantages is that they have basically a customer service rep. So if you have a dispute, their team will literally go in and help you solve that dispute. They'll give you extra support, which no other processor that I know of does that. So it's basically white glove support on any credit card dispute. And they do something very unique as well, is they route your transactions through different banks. So if you're in a little bit more of a high risk processing system, then that's where you have a lot of fraud. People are doing chargebacks. This would probably be the best one for you. Thankfully, we don't have that issue, but their fees for ACH are slightly lower than what we're paying now. So we're looking at that portion of that tool. So as you'll see, we basically split the best tools across the board to get the lowest fees. For people that are just starting off, this is not important. If you're making under $50,000 or $100,000 a year, it's not important. But once you cross that $1 million threshold, that $5 million threshold, $10 million, these fees are massive. It can be different employees, it can be in travel budgets, it can be events, it can be whatever you want it to be. Anyways, I hope this has helped you decide to start charging your clients fees. Make sure to put into your terms of service, make sure to be transparent, and ideally offer them a way to pay with no fees. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys.